Benjamin Franklin once said, "Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise." I think Ben was onto something, so I apply Mr. Franklin's quote to my morning routine. For me, the day starts around 6:30, allowing me to get at least 8 hours of sleep every night. I then make my bed, no real science behind that. I then hydrate with electrolytes and 20 grams of glutamine to increase the uptake of those electrolytes, but also keep the gut nice and happy. Then it's into the ice bath for 3 minutes, sucks every time. Pair that with sun in the eyes, which I have to say got very lucky with the position of my balcony, killing two birds with one stone. Morning sun exposure, along with a change in body temperature to support my circadian rhythm, and natural cortisol spike in the morning. Then it's inside for 20 minutes of a pretty expensive red light therapy machine, which has been shown to improve collagen production, reduce inflammation, improve mitochondrial function, as well as muscle recovery. Combining this with a little reading to gain some knowledge, of course. Right now, I'm reading The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, which I'd highly recommend. Then into a short stretching and mobility routine, which I was, to be honest, never a big fan of. But since adding this into my routine, I've noticed a pretty massive improvement in my overall recovery, far less aches and pains, and been able to improve my range of motion within my training. Because I take my L-carnitine right when I wake up, which assists in the transport of fat that has been mobilized out of the fat cell into the mitochondria to then be oxidized, along with rarolocine, also known as alpha-yohimbine, which can enhance beta-adrenergic activity, leading to increased energy expenditure and fat oxidation. About 30 to 40 minutes later, I then do my fasted steps. So I would say the most important part of the morning routine is probably getting sun in the eyes as fast as possible to set their circadian rhythm, but also support our body's natural cortisol spike in the morning. And honestly, I don't know why, but cortisol gets a bad rap, kind of how like insulin used to. Like, oh, you don't wanna spike your insulin. It's a bad thing. Like, yeah, you kind of need insulin though, otherwise you'd be in a quite tricky situation. So cortisol in itself, not bad. We need it for our stress response, glucose metabolism. It's anti-inflammatory, regulating blood pressure, and honestly, like, the list goes on. So the more we try to suppress our cortisol, the more we might actually hinder our own adaptation. The same thing applies. This is why you don't want to ice bath or cold plunge post-workout. If you work out and then you go straight to the cold plunge, or you take anti-inflammatory supplements like curcumin as an example, high doses, then you're literally blunting the anti-inflammatory effects and the response that's needed to elicit that adaptation. So yeah, we need that stress response to grow and adapt. So with that said, a good cortisol curve looks like a roller coaster. So it'll rise in the morning and then go up, and then start to dip as the day goes on, and then towards the evening come down and settle. That's what an ideal cortisol curve would look like. So to support that, getting sun in your eyes, huge. Limiting blue light in the evening, also huge. One thing as well is about my morning routine is I also don't look at my phone until I'm on the treadmill doing my steps, because blasting yourself with dopamine is one of the worst things you could do. Like, immediately waking up, giving yourself an extreme amount of dopamine, well, your body will start to actually anticipate that and then start waking you up earlier, but also it'll just mess your dopamine up for the rest of the day. So compare that to a cold plunge like I do, which like 2.5x or 3x is your dopamine for the next 3 hours, which is insane. So overall, my morning routine takes about an hour, give or take. Some days, depending what I'm doing, I might cut it short. If I'm feeling like super creative, I'll still hydrate, of course, get in the sun exposure, do the 3-minute ice bath, but then straight into making notes or doing something for a podcast or YouTube video or planning. Because it's like, yeah, I want to be optimal, but I don't want to feel constrained within my morning routine. If I don't get in the cold plunge one day, or if I don't, let's say instead of reading for 20 minutes with my red light, I read for 10. It's I kind of try to go with the flow with it. It's super easy to get caught up in some like elaborate morning routine, especially if you have time and you watch some other creators and like the science dudes and biohackers, and then, you know, they read, and then the breath work, and then the this and the that. And yeah, I think there's a place for that, but at a certain point, it's like we got to start doing shit. You got to get into stuff that's actually going to move your life forward. So yeah, in my opinion, being flexible with it has been massive for me. I still have like the pillars, of course, but and that's something I've developed as well. Like, I used to be super rigid with it. I remember even when I was younger, and we had a plan to do something with my family, and it would change. For some reason, I just did not vibe with that. My mom would tell me, Oscar, go with the flow, and that just pissed me off. So, yeah, I hated that. But we're evolving. So, on the way right now to go get some caffeine in the system, and then when we're back, go over the Nootropics Stack for check-in day, which is some cool stuff. I've been super fascinated with the nootropics lately, so yeah. Transfer the cold brew into the glass because I have this product in here, and I also fuck with the straw. I'm not trying to stain the teeth out here. So, into the cool shit of the morning, nootropics. Now I find nootropics fascinating, like the whole you can influence your mental performance side of things and how you can take certain different supplements to achieve a specific goal, whether that's learning something faster, having better verbal fluency, memory retention, mood. Yeah, super sick stuff. So this is my check-in nootropic stack. So this is more geared towards fast processing speed, good memory, retention, verbal fluency. I don't want to be too stimulated. Like I don't want to be cracked out, speaking way too fast, having my clients think I just did a line or some shit. But I want to be able to calmly explain sometimes what can be complex or somewhat complex processes to clients while interpreting their data. So this stack is very different than something I take for when I want to be focused, but also far more stimulated, like if I was going to go to the gym, for example. So got the cold brew for the caffeine, of course, methylene blue, which I already took upon wake, uridine monophosphate, which increases the sensitivity to dopamine receptors and upregulates choline synthesis. Lion's mane, this is not something you'll notice like in acute, like you take and you feel something, an effect from it, but long term you're getting neurogenesis and repair of neurons. Rhodiola for some extra resilience to stress, it modulates cortisol, so some people also notice improved focus from it. L-theanine to kind of take the edge off the caffeine, keep me nice and calm. B-complex to support methylation, neurotransmitter synthesis like serotonin and dopamine as well. Sometimes I'll take saffron extract, which is a pretty cool one. It has a mood uplifting effect, and it has actually been shown in some studies to be more effective than an SSRI, which is wild. So I take this pre-bed always anyway. Fish oils with a high EPA and DHA content, then occasionally intranasal C-Max if I was out late or sleep wasn't on point, which increases BDNF, brain-derived nootropic factor, and kind of brings me back up to that baseline like if I were to have a good sleep. That one's a peptide. So yeah, into the check-ins. Good morning, my man. Hope you're doing well. First meal of the day, also the pre-workout meal. We are currently running a diet break this week, so calories are brought up to maintenance through carbohydrates. So got to add some raw honey to this meal, add some more fruit. So we got 3 eggs, egg whites, and then cream of rice, fruit, and some raw honey. Because like I said in the last video, I've been dieting for 16 weeks now, and we got to the point where my body's starting to fight back, down-regulate, diet fatigue is coming up. So this is when you have to play the game of like knowing when to push and pull, when to pull back, lower expenditure steps in my case, increase calories to maintenance, along with running a devolume or deload so you can completely wash off any fatigue that is present. And then that will set me up to then respond when I get back into a deficit. So the Supps, to cover all my bases, got a Thorn multivitamin in here, the best multivitamin, that or the Gorilla Mind one. Would highly recommend. NAC, which is a precursor to glutathione, our body's most potent antioxidant. One I always take, but up the dose to help with the mold detox. Also doing NAD and some other peptides as well for the detoxes and some other therapies like ozone. So let me know if you want to do, if you want me to do a video on that, like how everything I'm doing to detox from it, sauna as well, because some binders. Got a few DMs from last video. So then we got omega-3s, again, take it with my nootropic stack, and then this magnesium, taurine, shilajit, and then urolithin A, like I spoke about in the last video, which is derived from pomegranates and berries. But like I said, it induces mitochondria autophagy, so it recycles damaged mitochondria and replaces them with functional ones. And the cool thing is, they did a 8-week study in resistance trained healthy males, so couldn't be more relevant. And it showed that 1 gram per day improved muscle endurance and recovery, as well as reduced muscle protein breakdown, which is a great sign. And it showed significant anti-inflammatory effects, like it decreased inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, interleukin 6. So I would get on that one ASAP too. Now my prep for the early wake starts at night. I clean because I find a clean work environment boosts productivity and also keeps me from staying on my phone, falling into some doom scrolling leading up to bedtime, which in turn keeps me not stimulated and decreases my blue light exposure, thus allowing for a much easier time falling asleep. I also like to get my supps and stuff ready for tomorrow, so in the morning I can just get up and go. Also, to set myself up for a great day, I really prioritize my sleep. I set my place cold, around 18 degrees, take my sleep supplements, which are currently the Momentous Sleep Pack, along with the Thorn Sleep Plus, saffron extract, and 3 grams of glycine. I've done a fair bit of experimenting with the different combinations, like I've tried 5-HTP, valerian root, all types of company sleep products, and I found this combination does get me the best sleep. Couple sleep hacks for you, because I know some of you may struggle with your sleep. So to keep the circadian rhythm nice and happy, one thing I'd love to do is watch the sunset. Like all winter long, couldn't do that. Now finally this past like month, maybe month and a bit, been able to, and man, notice quite a difference. I'm just zen after. And of course, other tips: avoid blue light, bright light at least an hour before bed if you can. Easy hack on your phone: if you use the accessibility feature, you press the accessibility button and your screen will just go red, straight red. So that's an easy way to just get rid of all the blue light. Now that and blue light glasses, a little overkill, I know. Rather be safe than sorry though. So I also don't use an alarm because I've set my circadian rhythm over like the past 4 or 5 months, just been going to bed, waking up around the same time at least like 6 nights out the week. But if I were to use an alarm, it would definitely be the Sleep Cycle app. So much better than the regular rah, rah, rah. Would not want to wake up to that. And of course, blue light blockers so I could chill. Watch the last episode of Mobland. Absolute banger of a show. I saw something today that they might not even be renewing it, and I tell you, that better be some propaganda. So now on to the Joe Rogan 10-minute timer. See what to watch today. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. See what these guys are waffling about. Luke Caverns, explorer, anthropologist, YouTuber. Maybe Luke. So to do this 10-minute timer, you just click the bottom left, and then you can set 10 minutes. And yeah, I'll probably be out before that even finishes. So appreciate you watching. Good night. I will see you guys very soon.